I just think he's awkward in the mind and he's awkward in his style. Unpredictable. You just don't know. He doesn't have one significant style. He may move around the ring and try to steal the win. He may just jab the whole fight. I've seen him fight guys like John McDermott years ago where he would just try and fight with you. Steve Cunningham, where he just tries to fight and he's more vulnerable. So I don't know what style Fury will possess, but he's good because he can mix it up. He's a man of many trades. Those are the words of IBF and WBA heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua, talking about this potential showdown with the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Fury used to be a man of many styles. Maybe he will be again in the future, but for his past few fights, he's basically had one style. Box on the back foot, counter punch, use his height and reach, don't get involved. That's what he did against Vladimir Klitschko. That's what he did against Chisora in the rematch. That's what he did against Christian Hammer. Prior to that, against lower level opposition, like Joey Abel, he did try and mix it up a little bit. But that was the last time I remember him actually trying to mix it up a bit. In the fights I mentioned, he was just boxing on the back foot, not getting involved. He is praised by the majority of boxing fans at the moment for fighting this way. And it is such a huge change from the attitude of fans in years gone by. Because if you go back to the 80s and the 90s, fans, particularly when it came to heavyweights, did not tolerate a heavyweight boxing and moving around the ring. They didn't tolerate it. Even the pundits were extremely scathing in their criticism of heavyweights who boxed like Tyson Fury boxed against Klitschko. Just go look at many of Lennox Lewis's fights, and Lewis, by comparison to what Fury did against Klitschko, was very active and exciting. When he fought David Tua, heavily criticized by the British pundits now, Barry McGuigan was very harsh on Lennox Lewis. When Lewis fought Holyfield, particularly the first time, Barry McGuigan and the pundits, very harsh on Lennox Lewis for not going in there and trying to finish his man. Winning wasn't enough back then. You had to go in and finish your man and literally try and break your man down. Never mind just finish him. You had to, once you're dominating behind the jab, you've then got to go in, start breaking him down and take him out. That is what boxing fans and pundits at the time expected, the majority of them. It wasn't acceptable to just move around and get a points win. No. Especially not if you're a heavyweight. But in this era, things have changed. You saw what Billy Joe Saunders just did, winning a decision, although, Billy Joe Saunders was a lot more active than Tyson Fury. I know he's a middleweight, not a heavyweight, so he can throw more punches and whatnot, but still, he was more aggressive with his boxing. But, that's just one example. Defensive boxing basically has become somewhat fashionable in boxing since Floyd Mayweather took the mantle as the torchbearer of the sport. The Mayweather era has seen an acceptance of defensive boxing, which wasn't there before. Now, we've always had defensive boxers. There was Pernell Whitaker, for example. But Pernell Whitaker was defensive and offensive at the same time. Because, yes, he would move around the ring all the time, constantly, but he would throw a lot of punches. He wasn't low volume, Pernell Whitaker. That's the difference between him and someone like Mayweather. Whitaker was defensive, but he was high volume and he was a combination puncher. Those of you who are not aware of Pernell Whitaker, go watch him in his prime. Go watch him when he fought Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. So, yeah, we've got this defensive boxing today being more accepted. It's a good thing for fighters because now they can box in a certain way that helps to preserve their health. And I know there is still some resistance against defensive boxing and people do criticize it for being boring. But trust me, compared to how it used to be decades ago, it is far more acceptable today in the eyes of fans and critics, pundits, etc. It's far more acceptable today than it used to be. The criticism of it is nowhere near as harsh as it used to be. Trust me, I lived through that era. I know what I'm talking about. But as it relates to a potential Joshua fight, it means that when Fury goes in the ring, if he sticks to his guns and boxes on his back foot against Joshua, all the pressure is on Joshua. Fury's just going to stick behind that big long reach, jab and move, the same as he did against Klitschko. That's what he'll attempt to do against Joshua. The pressure will be on Joshua to make the fight, to go forward, to take risks. And he will. He will do that. He won't just stand back like Vladimir Klitschko did. He'll go in, he'll take risks, he'll try and break Tyson Fury down. It's an intriguing fight. How will Joshua's stamina hold up? We know Tyson Fury got good stamina. Been 12 rounds plenty of times. And he's got it in the tank. We know that. Anthony Joshua, on the other hand, has shown some issues with regards to stamina. He's a very, very big man. And when he puts pedal to the metal, like he did in the 5th round against Klitschko, he can empty the gas tank very, very quickly. And it takes him several rounds to recover. Dylan White fight, similar story, although a lot of that had to do with him being hurt by White. But at the same time, his gas tank seemed to be depleted from that 2nd round through to maybe about the 5th round or something, 4th or 5th round. When he fights at a slow, measured pace, Joshua, he's able to go to rounds without gassing. But when he steps on the gas, as I say, tank empties. Will he have to step on the gas against Fury? That's the point I'm making. That's the question I'm asking. Will he be able to fight at a methodical pace and slowly break Tyson Fury down? Is that going to work? Or not? Because if it doesn't work, then he's going to have to step on the gas and gamble. And he might end up running out of fuel himself. Then will Tyson Fury be able to come and take him out? So many questions. But first and foremost, we need to see Tyson Fury back in the ring. We need to see him have some tune-up fights and see how he looks. You're only as good as your last fight in boxing a lot of the time. Tyson Fury might come back and look absolutely appalling in his comeback fights, and then all of a sudden, he's going to be a huge underdog against Anthony Joshua. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on what Anthony Joshua said. He realizes Fury is a jack of all trades and he can do many things. A master craftsman. Let me know, people. It's happening. I'm out.